Good morning, teacher. So today I gonna recall all the summary of the 5 chapters of the Principle of Management. Now, first we go to the first chapter, the Introduction of Management. So this is the personal development and career readiness. Move to the first chapter, Introduction Management. Working today, we need a lot of qualified the nowadays life demand. So first, that is the talented. Intellectual capital, that is the collective of brain power, shared knowledge of the workforce, and the strategy access for the organizations. Therefore, the chapter mentioned about the intellectual capital equation that equal commitment multiple for competency. Competencies is a preference your talented or capabilities. Commitment is a willingness of you when you try to work hard. So furthermore, workplaces are dominated by knowledge workers whose mind and physical capabilities are critical assets. Next, technologies is challenge our talent. So we build and maintain the technology IQ, which is the ability to use technology and to stay informed on the latest technology development. With that, freedom from constraint of normal 8 to 5 schedules. So turn to the next. That is the globalization. Term describes the worldwide interdependence of resources flow, product market, and business competition. So that in our global world, they interconnect in labor, market and employment pattern. Therefore, we have the firm job immigration. That is to illustrate this one job migration occur when a firm shifts their job from one country to another. Every career has its own ethic, and that is the setting moral of the standard of what is good and right in behavior. The next term is diversity. That is the workforce diversity describes difference among workers in gender, in race, in age, in ethnicity, in religion, in sexual orientation, and level. For example, experiential subjects view the white leader as more successful than minority leader. Most often, expect business leader to be white and believe that white leader success are competent than non-white success. That diversity bias comes from prejudice and the honing of negative irrational option and attitude regarding members of diverse population. And prejudice become active discrimination when minority member is unfairly treated and denied the full benefits of organization membership. A subtle form of discrimination called the class ceiling effect, an invisible barrier prevents minority and women from raising above level of organizational responsibility, so that they need a position contract diversity officer to recognize that the diversity is not only moral issue but an opportunity for real performance gain. Now, from individual to organization, the group of people working together to achieve the common purpose. But we need a plan to success career in changing time, so that we have the term SAMROC organization. That is the operate with a core group of the full-time long-term workers supported by the other who works on contract and part-time. For example, that is the freelancers. No fringe benefits of the company. We will move to another term known as free agent economy. An economy in which people move jobs more often. Many work on independent contract with a shifting mix of employers. So, in this economy, skill must be kept updated, portable, and always valued. We call those skills as self-management. Being able to understand yourself, exercise initiative, accept the responsibility, and learn from experience. So next, the performance of organization. That show through the productivity and performance effectiveness. Productivity is the quality and qualify of the work performance with resources utilization considered. Performance effectiveness an output measure of task or goal accomplishment. Now we move to the last definition of intermanagement, the managers. That is the person who supports the activity and is responsible for the work of others. So we will have different level of manager, up to down, from the top, the middle, and the first line manager. The top manager, who are the CEO of the company, and the executive team holding and create the core value of the company. The middle manager is the one who are the head of the large department in the company, such as HR, the regional, or the plant. The last one, the first line. If that company is the big corporation or the big group, so first line who are the supervisor of the department head report to the middle manager and supervisor of non-managerial staff. Okay, so level come to the type of manager. We have the line manager, that is the one who contributes the production. The staff manager, that it will give the advice and support the line worker who has the special technique. The functional manager who's responsible for the each and such as finance. And the general manager, that is the complex and multifunctional unit and administration manager of non-profit public organization. Okay, now we turn to the second chapter. That is about the management learning from past to present. So the first part, the classical management approach. So in this approach, we will have the three kinds of studying in the management process. First one, the scientific management developed by Frederick Taylor. This study emphasizes careful selection and training the worker with the supervisory support. This job had motion, the standardized working element. This kind of studying select a worker with reliability and train and support a worker with science. The second one, the administrative principle developed by Henry Fayol. So this one identifies 5 rules of management which are the foundation of the 4 functions of management. The first one is the foresight. That is, plan for the action in the future. Second one, organization, provide and motivate resources. The third one, command, lead, select, evaluate the worker. Number 4, coordination, fit diverse effort together and info share with the problem solved. Number 5, control, make sure that things happen through the land. The third one, bureaucratic organization. This founded on the principle of logic, order, legitimate authority. It contains fair, impersonal, career manager, clear division of labor, promotion based on merit, formal hierarchy of authority, and the last one is the written rule and the standard procedure. Now we turn to the second part of this chapter, the behavioral management approach. This one usually applied for the human resources approach. So we have the 5 studies in this one. The first one is the organizational as a community, developed by Follett. This one is rich with foresight. Management and workers should labor in harmony, freedom to talk over and truly reconcile conflict and differentiate. And the manager's job has the member cooperate with others and achieve the integration of interests. B. The hands-on study developed by Mayer. This study concerns how economic incentive and physical condition of workplace is effective of the output of the worker. This social setting and human relation. Social setting for worker make them want to do a good job. Good human resources seem to have a higher productivity. The employee attitudes and group process. People would restrict their own output to avoid the displeasure of the group. Group can have a strong negative as well as possible influence on the individual productivity. The third one is Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. This one is quite very basic, from the basic need to the higher need. The first one is philosophical need. That need is the need of eating and drinking, the need of life. The second one is the need of safety. When the first one is satisfied, people who tend to intend to have a second need. The third one is social need. You need to be in social, you have love, you have some relationship, and then is the esteem, and the last one is self-actualization. Number 4, McGregor's theory X and theory Y. Theory X is assume people dislike work, lack of ambition, and irresponsibility, and refer to be late. So this one usually apply in the worker of the factory. Theory Y assume people to act willing to work, self-direction, creative aspect, a self-fulfilling prophecy. People act the way they expect to receive. So, manager with theory X or theory Y with self-fulfilling prophecy may lead the alternative result. Number 5, the aggressive theory of adult personality. This theory believes that if managers who treat people positively and as responsibility adult will achieve the highest professional. Number 3 of this chapter is about the modern management foundation. From the concept to practicing. After discussing theory model, they developed the modern management approach, such as the quantitative analysis tool, system view of organization. Now we go to the first part. The analysis is quantitative and tool. We will get an area known as analytic. That is the systematic analysis of the large database to solve problems and make informed decisions. When problem occurs, it's systematically analyzed, appropriate mathematical models, and computation is applied. The second one, the organizations as system. The reality is that cooperation among many people and parts could be imperfect and improve upon. So, need to understand the organization as a system or a subsystem. Subsystem is the group of interrelation parts for the working together for one purpose. The subsystem is smaller component at the large system. It is helpful to know organization as an open system that it interact with their environment in continual process and transforming input. In the company, is known as the open system. So subsystem are such as purchasing inventory system. The third one is contingency thinking. Contingency thinking, that is the thinking trying to match management practice with situational demand, or modern management practice that the best fits with the demand. Number 4, the quality management. That is an organization-wide commitment contribute improvement, product quality, and as customer need. And of course, the quality show up as an emphasis on continuous improvement, always looking for a new way to develop the performance. Number 5, the knowledge management and organizational learning. Neither people or organization can afford the rest on past laurels. Management is a process using the intellectual capital for competitive advantage. Emphasis the characteristic called learning organization continuously, change and improve using the lesson of experience. And the last tool of the modern management approach, that is the evidence-based management, that involves making decisions based on hard facts about what will work. Okay, now we move to chapter 5. This chapter is about global management and cultural diversity. Cultural awareness is one of the great challenges of our century. For takeaway that we turn to the first one, the management and globalization. Global management involves managing business and organization with interest in more than one country. And truly, the most culturally aware and informed on international affairs. And why we need to global? Go globally because of the profit, we get more. Because of the customer, we will have a new market. Because of the suppliers, we will have the various material from a low cost one. And from the labor, that is the lower cost. Capital, larger pool of financial resources and risk. We will reduce by spread our assets among the country. An international business conduct for profit transaction of goods and services across national boundaries. Third part, how can we globalization? The common staff of this one is global resources, materials, or service, purchasing around the world for the local use. The market entry strategy and direct investment strategy. The market entry strategy is contain global sourcing, export and import, licensing and franchising. Franchising is a foreign firm pay fee to make or sell the other company product. And licensing is to buy the right to use another name, operating method in home company. Direct invest strategies is contain joint venture and foreign subsidiary. Joint venture is a co-ownership, the company by foreign and local firm. The foreign subsidiaries is a local firm completely owned by the foreign firm. The second part of this chapter is global business environment. First one is the legal and political system. Different legal and political systems usually lead to the biggest risks of international business. We have termed political risk and political risk analysis, which are the potential loss when the legal change and the forecast of political disruption. B. Trade agreement and trade barrier. The World Trade Organization members agree to negotiate and resolve disputes about the trade restriction. Most favored nation give the trading partner most favorable treatment for import and export. The tariff is the tax government levy on import from abroad. Non-tariff barrier is discourage the import in non-tax way, such as quotas and government in import restriction. Protectionism calls for tariffism favorable treatment for protect domestic firms from foreigner company. And the third part of the global business environment is the regional economic alliance. We have two alliances in this chapter mentioning is the NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. It's linking Canada, America, Mexico in economic alliance, and the European Union, EU. is the political and economic islands of Europe country. The third part of the chapter, the global business. Called the multinational enterprise MNE or the multi-corporation MNCs. A type of global business that's many from act more like transactional corporation that do business around the world without being identified with one national home. Second part, that is the pros and cons of global business. Now, let's talk about the host country issue. Cooperation and its host country issue should ideally both reap benefits. So the host country will have some business such that the larger tax base, develop employment chains, technology transfer develop of local resources, and introduction of a new insight. The mutual benefit of host country and the international cooperation is they can share the chance of potential growth, income, learning, and development. Now, that's the cons. For the host country, is that excessive profits, economic domination, interference with government, and hide the first local talented place. And for the corporation, that's it, they have to share the profit. The profits will be a limitation. The overprice of resources, the exploitative rules, and the foreign exchange. That is the host country cons. About the home country issue is that even they are the global corporation, the government and the citizen of the home country try to identify them with a local corporation and national interest. So in that one, they have to sell the price in the other country at the same of their home country. The third part is the ethic challenges for global business. The first one is the corruption, involving illegal practice to further one business interest. We have the Foreign Corruption Practice Act, that's the FCPA. The second one involving the ethic is child labor, that we follow the low-cost manufacturing, so we hire the children as employees to do the job should be done by adults. And the third one is Swiss sauce. That is the work low wage with the long hours in the poor working conditions. Now, the part number 4 of this chapter is culture and global diversity. Every country has their own global. Their share of belief, value, pattern of behavior, and sources of culture. So the culture shock is the unpredictable, the confusion, the discomfort when one experiences an unfamiliar culture. So we go to the first part of this one. It's a culture intelligence. That is the ability to accept and adapt the new culture. So the one who has the culture intelligence is the one who is flexible in dealing with culture difference. Number 2, the silent language of culture. It will show by many aspects. First one is about the context. Some country they have a low context. Some country they have the high one. So the low context emphasize the communication via or written words, and the high context rely on nonverbal and situational, or as well as on spoken or written word in communication. We have the time culture. We have the monochronic culture is the people who tend to do things at time, and the polychronic culture is used to accomplish many different things as one. We have the space proxemics is the how people use the space to communicate. Some get used with standing close together, but some get uncomfortable when you do that. The third one is tight and loose country. Some country is very tight, some country is very loose. And the fourth one is values and national culture. We have power distance. It's the degree to which the society accepts the unequal distribution of power. The individualism, that's collectivism, that's the degree to which the society emphasizes individual and their self-interest. The uncertainty avoidance is the degree to which the society tolerates risk and uncertainty. The masculinity and the femininity, that is the degree to which the society value assertiveness and materialism versus feeling, relationships, and quality of life. The time orientation is the degree to which society emphasizes short-term for all the long-term goals. Now, this is the last part of the chapter. It's about the global management learning. That's comparative management. It's how the management practice differs among the country and the culture. Intercultural competency are the skill and personal characteristics that help us be successful in cross-cultural situations, necessary for anyone who's seeking to be the global management. Furthermore, perception management, more curious and acquisitive about the culture. Now, that is the done of lecture 5. Okay, now we turn to chapter 8. That is the planning process and technique. Planning is the first function of management. So, first we can find out more about why and how manager plans. Planning is the solid platform of the other management function. So if you want to do another own of management function, first you have planning. Planning process contains 5 steps. That is define your object, determine where you stand vis-a-vis objective, develop the premise regarding future conditions, analyze alternative and make the plan, and the last one is implement the plan and evaluate the results. Benefit of planning is that when you're planning, you will improve your focus and flexibility. Both in individual and organization will get benefit when they have good planning. Good planning will improve your action orientation, which you have avoid the complexity trap, make us action orientation. So when we have a good planning, we will improve the priority oriented, the advance oriented, and the change oriented. When we're good at good planning, we will improve the coordination and the control. And also, planning improve the time management skills. Everything will come down to discipline and priorities. The second part, that is the type of plans. We will have the long range and a short-term plans. Long range is 3 years and more. Short-term is less than 1 year's plan. The strategic and the tactical plan. The strategic is a long-term direction for the organization, and the tactical plan is a functional plan for production and financial. That is the top pyramid of plan. The middle and the lower level of plan will develop and used for implement the strategic plan. The third one is about the operational plan. That is a short-term activity to implement the strategic plan. Political and procedure. Policies, standing plan that communicate broad guidelines for the decision and action. And procedure is a rule description action that are to be taken in specific situation. And about the budget plan. Budget plan is a single-use plan that commit the resources to process or activity. So we will have the financial budget, have the operating budget, and non-monetary budget. The third part is a planning tool and technique. A. Forecasting. Attempt to predict the future. Some qualitative forecasting expert expert opinion to predict the future. Quantitative forecasting, that's in a mathematical model, the standard predict future events. B. Contingency planning, that's the identify alternative course of planning to take when things go wrong. The scenario planning, that's the long-term version of contingency planning. The benchmarking, use the external and internal comparison to plan for future improvement. So to find out what will go on well and which part we need to adjustment. The third one is the stock planning. We use a stock planner to have coordinate and energize planning, experts in the planning tool and technique. Number 4 is implementing plan to achieve results. We have the goal setting. The way goals are set can make the big difference on how we do. The great goals have 5 characteristics following: the specific, the timely, the measurable, the challenging, and the attainable. Goal alignment. The process of aligning individual employment goals with the larger overarching goals of organization. Ensure that each employee has a visibility into direction of business. It is supported by the hierarchy of goals or hierarchy objective. Lower level goals are meant to accomplishing the higher level goal. And the third one of element plans to achieve the result is the participation and involvement. That's the component of planning. When people participate in a setting goal, they gain a motivation to work hard to accomplish them with a larger division. Involved people goes a long way toward gaining their commitment to work hard and support the implementation of that. So this is the end of chapter 8. The last chapter, chapter 9, control process and system. Control is one of the 4 functions of management. First part, the managerial control. Let's check out how important the control is. Control is the process of measuring performance and making sure things turn out as intended. It has to ensure that the performance is consistent with plans. Now we go to the type of control. We have the feed-forward control. Ensure the right direction is set and the right resources are available. Concurrent control. That's to ensure the right things are being done as part of the workflow operations. Feedback controls. Ensure the final results are up to the desired time standard. Now we go to the internal and external control. The internal control that we can know as the self-control in company occur through the self-discipline in fulfilling work and personal responsibilities. Work with self-control will lead the manager to give them the freedom to work. External control. First one, that is the bureaucratic control that we use authority, policies, procedure, job description, budget, day-to-day supervision to make sure that harmony with organization interests. Another level comes from laws and regulation in organization external environment. The clan control. That's influence on behavior through norm and expectation set by the organizational culture. And the last one is the market control. That is, you control the demand of the product. That is essentially influence of the market competition on the behavior, organizations, and the member. Adjust the product, the pricing, the promotion, and the customer service. You will control the demand of the product. The second part is the control process. We have 4 steps for that process. The step number 1, you establish performance objective and standard. The output sources, the actual outcome, work result, earning share, and sales roles. The input sources is the work effort that go into the performance task. Step number 2, it measures the actual performance. The third step is to compare the result with the objective and the standard. So we have the control equation is either need for the action equal the desired performance minus the actual performance. Furthermore, some organizations use the engineering control, historical control, or relative control. Step number 4, you take the corrective action. That term of management by exception. You give focus on the substantial difference between the actual and desired performance. Exception, we have the problem situation and opportunity situation. The last part is the control tool and technique. We have project management control. That's a Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a graphically display the scheduling of tasks that go into the completing of the project. CMB or PERT, that is the combination of a critical path method and program evaluation and review the technique. The Gantt chart will control the plan if later days. The CMB or PERT will control the risk by consider the stream from the worst, the mid, and the best. Inventory control, just-in-time scheduling. They use just-in-time scheduling to route the material to workstation just in time to use. Break-even analysis. The break-even point is where the revenue is just equal to cost. So the break-even analysis will perform what if the calculation under different project costs and revenue conditions. And we will have the financial control. Then we use the balance sheet and the income statement. Balance sheet will show the assets and liability at one point of time. Income statement will show the profits and the loss at one point of time. And the last one is the balance scorecard. Is the tallies organization performance in financial, customer service, international process, and innovation and learning area. So that's the end of chapter 9. I'll finish a summary of 5 chapters in this subject. Thank you.